Okay, YouTube, this is JL Chambers 82. This is my second video, so thought what I'd do instead of going in like right into game reviews or right into system reviews, I'd just kind of show you the game rigs that I have. My apartment's basically like one big room, so only got 2 rooms to show off, but not really a dedicated game room. It's kind of my whole apartment is one big game room, I guess you could say. So anyway, go on here. And here we are. See if I can get this whole thing in a shot here. Yeah, and this is my bedroom. Pretty sad, I guess you could say. But yeah, doubles as my one of my game rooms. And as you can see, I have a that's a 50-inch plasma. It's way too big for this room, but it is one of my video game monitors, I guess you could say. This is pretty much where I have all my old school systems, so let's go check them out. I'm not going to review the systems today, I'm just going to kind of look at them, talk briefly maybe about where I got them or how long I've had them, and go from there. Got a little, if you can make that out, it's a little blue breaker, and we're just going to kind of go down here and go left to right. So, yeah, anyway. Then there's a Capcom joystick for Super Nintendo. And I do not have a Super Nintendo, but I'll explain why I have that in a moment. This is a Blaze arcade stick. Yeah, you can see that. It's for the Sega Dreamcast, and I have no idea where that comes from. I think it's China, but it's pretty cool. It's a dual arcade stick, so works well with Street Fighter 3. Anyway, down here we have a NEC PCFX. Kind of zoom in on that. I have a box controller and then a regular standard controller, and there's the cover for Blue Breaker. Got this off eBay. It's kind of a new acquisition. I've always wanted this system, and I don't really know why, because I knew that the games were, you had to have a quite a bit of knowledge of Japanese to really play any of the games, but I remember seeing it in a game magazine way back in the day under import systems, and I thought it looked really cool. It was designed to look like a PC. But it's a really cool system. I love NEC, so it's a good thing to have in the collection. Alright, and I'll let you can kind of see I have the games kind of set up back there too. This is the NEC PC engine with the CD-ROM attachment. Have a standard controller and a 6-button. And this is actually my favorite thing that I have in the collection. Like I said, I'm a big NEC fan. Ugh. How am I going to do this? This is going to be impossible to open up. Should have thought about that beforehand. Okay, we'll just move along for just a minute. Alright, next to that we have a Sega Genesis Model 1. Got this as a gift recently from a friend of mine. He knew I was really into the old school games and the game systems, and he bought one of those new generation systems that plays like Genesis, Super Nintendo, and other Nintendo games, and he gave me this, and it's pretty cool. This is exactly like the model my brother had way back in the day in '89 when it came out. Yeah, it looked pretty rough and dirty when I got it. He brought it with him from Colorado, but just kind of cleaned it up, showed it some love, scrubbed it down. Amazing what some WD-40 will do. This thing looks like the day it came off the assembly line. It looks really good. And next to that, we have my Neo Geo CD system. This is the single speed, most common. It's the Japanese system. It's huge, as you can tell. A lot of you are familiar with this already, so I won't spend too much time talking about it. But I've actually had this system for a long time. I got it not too long after the system came out. I always wanted a Neo Geo AES, and this was a more affordable alternative at the time. And it's cool, man. The sound's great, and the graphics are great, but the load times are terrible, as I'm sure all of you know, on the single speed. And alright, let's go back down here. You can see it's a Panasonic 3DO FC1. I actually had the system back in the day. I didn't get it at launch. I got it maybe a year later. It was still pretty expensive, about $100. This isn't my original FC1. I sold it way back in the day to get the Sega Saturn, and always wanted to get another one. I kept my original copy of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, as well as Star Control 2, which are 2 of my favorite games for the system. I bought some, a couple games here and there recently, and been playing with it again. It's a pretty cool system. I mean, it, definitely didn't warrant the price tag, other than the fact that this thing is built like a dump truck. And this will explain why I have that Super Nintendo controller, that Capcom joystick. This little module here actually plugs into the control port of the 3DO, lets you play with those kind of joysticks or Super Nintendo control pads. So it's pretty cool, and that Capcom stick is really, really good and real responsive, so it's a pretty cool arcade stick. And down here further, I have a Sega Dreamcast, and this is also something I've recently bought in the past year. Got it new in the box off eBay, and back there I've got a couple games. Mainly I wanted to have Street Fighter 3, but after getting the system and really kind of looking at what it could do, I was like, wow, this thing really was way ahead of its time. But unfortunately, this is that time period when this thing came out. I was really getting out of video games. I didn't really own anything from that generation, so I really think, yeah, it's one of my favorite systems now. I really want to get some new games for that. Don't have a lot, but we'll talk about games and stuff later. On over here, we have a Nintendo 64, one of my favorite systems of all time. This was probably the last system I really got into and really had a lot of games for, but this isn't my original. Bought this off eBay, and it was pretty bad shape, but I got it from a charity auction for like $15 delivered with two working controllers, and actually the bond that's in there, that and a handful of these other games in the back, I found in this bag of stuff that was at my grandmother's house that they were throwing out. It must have been one of my cousins or something, and I brought them all home and cleaned them up, as well as the system. The system was horrible looking when I got it in, but cleaned it up, showed it some love, scrubbed it inside out, and slapped some WD-40 on it, and it looks mint. There's nothing wrong with this one, but that's now one of two N64s that I have. Moving over here, we have Nintendo GameCube. Now this I did actually buy, and this is my original, but yeah, I bought it when it was dying out. I think I paid $100 for it at Walmart. Those are actually my original games for it there. I just have one controller. But it's a really cool system. I really dug it. The games that I did play, Metroid was cool, and really dug most of the games for it. Alright, over here we have my original Atari Lynx, and would take it out, but it is on its deathbed. It's dying. The screen has a lot of ghosting and a lot of dead pixels. But yeah, it's a really cool system. Underrated handheld, I think. And what collection wouldn't be complete without Virtual Boy? And this is my original Virtual Boy from back in the day. Again, got this like KB toy store for $20, I think, when they were clearing things out. Got a lot of headaches and whatnot playing it, but it's alright. I mean, if you know anything about the Virtual Boy, you know it's red, and the tennis game is pretty cool, is what most people say. So, yeah, that is this room, and I gotta be quick, because I'm already running out of time. There's Rob. Cool. And over here, another N64 and stuff I was cleaning up and working on, restoring these Genesis controllers and whatnot. But here we have my main room, and this is a 50-inch DLP, and right now I got some Panzer Dragoon Saga going on there. This is where I have my Street Fighter 4 rig as well. As let's kind of go in here and look and see. I have my Microsoft Xbox 360, and knock on wood, I've not had the Red Ring of Death yet, but again, I don't get to play these things that often, so it doesn't get a whole lot of use. Nintendo Wii, not a big fan, but I got one, and maybe I'll get some better games for it later. And my PS3. And down here, of course, my modded out Saturn with the ST key, lets me play Japanese games. And my PC, which is incorporated into my television rig. So there you are, YouTube. Hate to cut this off, but I am running out of time. This is my game room, and well, both my game rooms, I guess. So yeah, it's like one big giant game room. And yeah, I got an extended control cord for the Saturn there, and there's my Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. And just real quick, over here I got this. This is from 1988. It's a monitor with a VHS player. That's actually all it is. All it is. It's like this is what people take into business meetings and things like that to show off promotional tapes and whatnot. But I'm gonna probably be using it for some game reviews. Right now I've got old school Star Wars playing in it just to test out the VHS. So works pretty good. But yeah, I'll be doing some system reviews. I just want to post another quick video up so everyone can kind of take a look and around and see my game rooms. And well, pretty much this is it. This is how I live. This is my bird Pyro. He's kind of a little asshole, and he'll be making noise in the background of videos, but what can I do? He lives here. So anyway, YouTube, hope you enjoyed this vid. I know it's kind of quick and again unscripted, but post comments, let me know what you think, what you like to see. Later.